Darren Hardy, he has created several different businesses, and he's an author of the book called The Compound Effect. He talked about how he actually envisioned his wife, and she ended up manifesting for him. And I definitely believe in that. I definitely believe, like, if you continue to think about something, you continue to profess it out in the universe, and you continue to, just have that image and keep putting it out there that that's something that you want. I feel like it'll end up coming to you. For me, I just got to keep it real with y'all. I like locks. I like dreadlocks. I like everything about dreadlocks. I have dreadlocks, and I would really like it if my wife had dreadlocks. So a lot of the pictures that I have up here are women with dreadlocks. Come to me with any shade, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. The locks. I like locks. Also, I like my women to be in shape because I'm a very active person. I work out, I eat right, and I believe that's something that I want my wife to have as well. So a lot of the women that I have on here, they're in shape, or they're in some type of pose where it almost like they're doing yoga. But yeah, that's also something that I want to manifest and put out there. There's also, if you notice, the women that I have on here have curves. I like curves on the women, on my women. I also like a butt on the woman. So again, I have a woman with dreadlocks. She has a nice shaped little butt, and then also the same thing with the other pictures that I have. I also like holistic women. I like women who are conscious and who actually want to live a better life and want to do things naturally instead of what the system tells that our people should do and what they can't do. So that's something big that I want my wife to have. I also have a picture right here of a woman with dreadlocks and a younger child that she's kissing. I feel like that's her son. And then I also have a picture of a man holding a child up here. I want children. I'm gonna segue into the next part. I want children. I want on a minimum of like 4 or more kids, simply because I have a big family myself. I have a shit ton of aunties. I have a shit ton of uncles. I just come from a really big family, and it's not like I have an obligation to do that because a lot of my other cousins, they only have like 1 child or 2. But for me, I love children. My mother, she's a child care provider. So like I grew up around that, and my mom, she loves kids, and I learned a lot from my mom in learning child behavior, the psychology of a child, just a lot of different things I learned from my mom growing up, and that's something big that I'm into. So I know how to deal with young kids. I know that there's really not a such thing as a bad child. You just really get bored, and you don't know where to put your energy. And I kind of can attest to that because I was one of those kids that was labeled bad, ADHD, misbehaved all the time in class. He talks too much. He's getting up out of his chair and things like that. And that's simply not just because the child is bad or anything, or he has bad parents. It's the teachers don't really know where to put that energy. I guarantee you, if one of those teachers was like my mother, because my mother actually not only was my teacher in life, but she was actually my real teacher. She would have me do other activities where I could put my energy. She knew that I was always bouncing around and I was always fidgety, so she would have me go do creative things where that energy can now become productive instead of negative in the system that's out now. So yeah, so like with children, I definitely want I want them, like, period. Like, I don't know, like, whatever God gives me, I'll be happy with. I would rather have a boy first because I feel like I know how to handle boys a lot better than I do little girls. But whatever God gives me, I'm cool. There was a structure that was at its all-time high back when our grandparents were growing up. There was a lot of black enterprise. There was a lot of black love. There was a lot of things going for the black community, and that was simply because the house structure was intact. Now you have a lot of separated, you have a lot of single mothers and a lot of single fathers, and I definitely feel like it has an impact on our children and also our black community. So I'm really heavily into black love. And now, don't get me wrong, I don't go against like interracial dating or anything like that. A lot of my, not a lot, but a few of my family members are interracial, and I love them to the world, you know, to the world end. So I definitely don't disagree with interracial dating. I do believe there's kind of a fallacy behind you love who you love. I feel like you do have an impact on that to a certain extent. The more you hang around someone, the more you become involved with that person. Whether the relationship be platonic or romantic, you have the option of separating yourself from that from that tie with that person. So there's that. But yeah, black love is everything.